Hello and welcome to an album a day, day 291. I know this is pretty late in the evening to be doing this. It has been a day. I've been working in the studio all day, and then one of my computer fans went out, and I typically keep a stock of both of the different fans that are in my computer. I have the small one on the motherboard, and then I have the large one in the back. And this computer came out the week that Windows 8 came out. And has done an amazing job. Every podcast I've done, 1,200 plus now, have all been done on this computer, written, recorded, mixed, mastered hundreds of songs. It's been a great computer for me, and I want to keep it nice and healthy. But the fan that I switched to one this time that is supposed to be super, super quiet. I think it is loud as all the fans I've ever had combined. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm very happy to have working fans. That way I can continue to work and get things done because I got some Halloween releases coming up. I had a release today, so go check that out on my Facebook page, my Instagram page, also my website, www.scotthaskin.com. Now, we're continuing our journey through this very generous box of vinyls that Mark Roback sent me from the 70s Weekly Countdown with Mark and Pete. If you aren't listening to that show and you're a fan of 70s music, or just enjoy two people having a conversation about music, check it out. It's a great show. It's on all your podcast players. Looks like they are slowly adding their back catalog of episodes as they've just recently switched to a new distributor. So go find the 70s Weekly Countdown with Mark and Pete and listen to it. When this is over, just hold on for a second. So we are going back to, looks like this album was originally issued in 1985. This is a 1987 copy on Elektra Records. And this is Michael, I don't know how to say this, Feinstein? It seems like it should be exactly the same both ways. Excuse me, because it's E-I-N. So maybe it's Feinstein, maybe it's Feinstein. I'm not sure. But what I am sure of is the title, which is Pure Gershwin. So you can check it out right here. And again, so this is a 1985 original release, but this is a 1987 copy. I really like that Elektra label, actually. It's pretty nice. I'm trying to think of who else I might know that's on the Elektra label. It seems like there would be a bunch of people. I don't recall this sticker before, so it's very possible they have a different sticker on here. But yeah, Elektra, very, very popular, solid record company. Album, by the way, is in mint condition, of course. And this also, unbelievable, pristine condition right here. I mean, you know, you're going to have a little bit of bends on the corners just from being on a shelf. That's normal. It looks like this tiny speck right down here, looks like that's actually printed right into the picture. So tiny, tiny circle. But yeah, this is in wonderful shape. I can't recall if there's anything. Ooh. We do get a larger version of the Elektra label. You just walk around like that. Very nicely done. And on the other side, we have another large version of the Elektra label. In case you weren't sure what record company released this album, they want you to know beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's Elektra. So Gershwin is pretty cool. I know a few Gershwin songs, not a whole lot, but we get a pretty good list on this album. We get S Wonderful, which I don't know. Our Love Is Here to Stay, which is a beautiful song. Liza, was it Lisa? No, Liza, yeah. The World Is Mine. They can't take that away from me. Wonderful song. Isn't it all a pity? Isn't it a pity? Yes, it is. That I can't pronounce the titles right tonight. Like I said, it's been a day. I haven't even recorded a podcast yet, and it's like 10:30 at night. Let's Call the Whole Thing Off. That one I know. Good song. We go over to side 2. We get Embraceable You. Absolutely beautiful song. I learned that one because that was on one of those infomercials back in the 80s when they used to do the collections of like 5 album sets or whatever. And they would do little clips from each of the albums. And I remember Embraceable You being on there. What Causes That? He Loves and She Loves / How Long Has This Been Going On? Sounds like a little bit of shenanigans maybe. Then we get They All Laughed, The Girl I Love, and my favorite Gershwin song, Someone to Watch Over Me. Interesting thing about that song, obviously for those of you who have seen the movie Mr. Holland's Opus, it was featured in that movie, but a little remembered episode of WKRP, Mother Carlson, I swear this is true, you can find it on YouTube right now. Mother Carlson visits the station on a very, very cold day, waiting to go see Arthur on what is unknown at the time, but it turns out is a very emotional day for her and her fumbling son. But she and Johnny and Jennifer are in the booth on an incredibly freezing cold day, sharing a drink, trying to keep warm, reluctantly on Jennifer's part, par for the course on Johnny's part. And of course, she scares the hell out of Johnny, thinking that he's going to get fired for this and all that. Very great episode. But in her overexposed state of consciousness, we'll just say, not physically exposed, but just, emotionally with all the alcohol and everything, because Mother Carlson is also a little chilly on this day. She requests that Johnny play some Gershwin. And I don't know how they cue this up, because they are a rock and roll station. You would think that they probably don't have any Gershwin records, but in the magic world of WKRP, they somehow have a Gershwin record, and Johnny plays Someone to Watch Over Me, which the actress who plays Mrs. Carlson kind of glides around and sings the song. She has a very deep voice, so it sounds interesting, but in the story, she used to be a showgirl, and she was a singer and all that. So it's really a fascinating episode. It's really the one episode that we get a little bit of in-depth look into Mrs. Carlson. And I happened to see that episode not too long ago. It came up on my YouTube when I was looking for something, and I thought, I got to watch this. Forgot all about the fact that this song was in there. Very, very cool. I don't know in the new DVDs that came out, I don't know if they were able to keep that one. There were some songs that they had some issues with over licensing rights, because people, hey, you know what, even though we agreed for it to be in the original show, we didn't agree to syndication, or we didn't agree to video releases, because video releases didn't exist when WKRP was on the air. So they could not have negotiated that into their licensing contract. So now we want to release these on DVD. We got all these songs that have been played on the show. So we have to get new licenses for all of these under the approval of DVD release. Now think about who your audience is. Older people in my age group, probably early to mid 50s and up, at best maybe to 60, 70. So you have a limited target range. You're not selling hundreds of thousands of copies of these sets. And I have to say they did a great job doing what they could. But the problem is that some of these companies wanted so much money that they couldn't use the song. And they had to alternate what they used in the episode. What can we get that kind of fits the bill? And they had to reinsert dialogue, which is obviously not the actors, because the actors would announce the song or reference the song in some way. So they had to take that dialogue out and try and replace it. Some of the actors aren't with us anymore. Obviously, they're all much older, so their voices aren't going to sound the same. So it's just a huge ordeal. And my thought was, what are you really going to get out of this? By setting a price so high, there's no reason. You've already agreed for it to be in the show. It's part of the lore. It's part of the history. People have it in their memory that this was a song that was played on your show. And to come back now, and this is not the artists that we're talking about, guys, it's the publishing companies, to come back now and say, we want $60,000, or we want, X amount of the sales or whatever. What sales do you think they're going to be? This is not a huge market. This is a very specialty market. This is a nostalgia market. Very disappointing that some of these publishers and rights holders just refuse to just play along and be decent. They made their money on the song. If it got licensed, it was popular enough to be licensed. I'm sure they did okay. At this point, you're not looking at making a ton of money on this project. So why you're outbidding yourself out of it and coming out with nothing makes absolutely no sense to me. So my word is knock it off. But anyway, great stuff, Gershwin. I'm listening to this. It sounds fantastic. A few natural clicks and pops. That's going to happen. This is a vinyl. But I have to say, the songs that I didn't know, I wasn't surprised that I enjoyed, but I will say it's one of those things that makes me go, I really should listen to more Gershwin. So thank you, Mark. I will certainly be doing that. And we'll be back tomorrow with another episode at some point in the day. I've got kind of a crazy day tomorrow as well. I'll be in the studio a good chunk of the day and working on my promo schedule for the rest of this month, and also Thanksgiving through Christmas. I refuse to promote Christmas music before Thanksgiving, except for my Haunted Holidays series, because that really is as much Halloween as it is Christmas. The theme might be Christmas, but the atmosphere is Halloween and can be played in the background of your Halloween party or just enjoyed. So I will promote that stuff during the time before Thanksgiving. So keep an eye out for that, or just go to my website, check it out. Go to Amazon, go to iTunes, go to any place that isn't going to rip me off in the streaming world, and check it out. I don't make any money if you stream it off my site, but I don't mind if you do that. That's fine. That's why it's there. So go check it out. See if you like it. Feel free to purchase it, or feel free to stream it if that's what you're into. But yeah, I appreciate it. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Cheers.